are live. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What did you just do?
I don't know. I think I ate your rack.
Okay, that's why I can't have nice things with you. You destroy everything in my room. Jeez, what a way to start this. Destroy you. Really. Hello! Can you hear us? Can you see us? Can you feel us? Sounds like an episode of Tommy, or from the movie Tommy, you know.
Can you
see
smell you?
me. See me. Feel me. Whatever. Okay, I'm dating myself. Okay, let's say hello to everybody who is here. Let's pull it up. Andy is here. Hi, Andy. And Melissa. Math Geek is here. Happy Sunday to you, too. Candace is here. Derek is here. Gail is here. Russ is here. Bro. Raw. Stephen and Walter, what's up? Yo. Does gangsta signs of fabric scissors. I have no idea what Russ is doing, and I don't know what he's on, but I want some.
You're smoking a little something there?
Share, please. Yeah. Patsy's here. Hi, Patsy. Elsie is here. Made it to the live today. That's great, Elsie. We're glad you did. Suzanne is here. Janet from sunny Texas. Does it ever rain in Texas? I don't know. Every time someone comes on from Texas, it's hot and it's sunny. Stephanie is here. Hi, Stephanie. Cheryl is here from rainy Kansas City. Okay, well, you got the rain then, I guess.
I don't know what it's doing here.
I don't know if it's doing anything. Dawn is here. Angel is here. Cheryl Boulder is here. Sherry Cook is here. Sandy is here as well. Oh, I hate these stupid little heart things that come up on here. I'm just throwing it at a heart. I'm trying to get rid of it. That they put that in the stupidest spot. It covers up comments. So Sandy's here. I think I said. And then they give you this other blue one. You guys can't see what we're seeing right now, but YouTube just hits you with all kinds of little things to let you know, for advertising and stuff like that. Oops. What just happened? Where'd that go? Down here. Designs by Christina Cunningham is here from Admire, Kansas. That's an interesting place. I'm sure people are very amorous about living in Admire. Karen B is here. Pamela is here from Minnesota. Sue is here. Maggie is here. Laurel is here. Aloha, and Laurel's in Hawaii. Shady Susan's here. And Purple Wall, that's Kay, is here. Well, the gang's all here. It's good to see all of you. Saw a lot of you yesterday for the pop-up sewing day. And there's Philippa from the land down under. Isn't that a song? Went to the land down under. Rum-a-dum-dum, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Musical thing. Well, you're just so full of lots of supportive ideas today. This is going to be a good episode as Walter and I have a domestic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have those all the time. It doesn't really matter. So anyways, I guess as far as our American friends are concerned, you're all getting ready for your biggie, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in the States seems to be a much bigger holiday than it is here in Canada. Basically, we get Monday off and we eat a bird. Like, that's it. But, I mean, Americans seem
Not everybody gets Monday off.
No, that's true. Yeah, no, that's right. Not everybody gets the Monday off on our Thanksgiving. But, and like they're saying, it's going to be the busiest day of the year, pretty much. Sounds like it'd be busier in the States on the airports than it is at Christmas time. Yeah, it's not as big a thing here at all.
No.
And of course, you have
we're a month early.
Yeah, and of course, it is closer. It's really the unofficial or official start of the Christmas season and the shopping season, I guess. Of course, Black Friday falls right after Thanksgiving, which is another thing that is really big in the States is Black Friday. It's not. It didn't used to be very big here.
It used to be here, but the businesses caught on that Black Friday was happening in the States, so they started doing Black Friday here as well.
Yeah, but I think it's dying out anyways from what I've seen. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos talking about how Black Friday has really changed, especially with like Cyber Monday, and then it became Cyber Week, and then Cyber Month. And Amazon itself started putting out Black Friday sales in the middle of October.
Yeah,
So-
and they've been doing that sort of here too. So
Yeah, so I mean,
and I noticed I checked around a little bit, but there doesn't seem to be anything that's really outstanding from what I can
nah,
see.
there's nothing I would stand in line for except
No.
possibly ABBA tickets, and that's never going to happen.
No,
So,
the senior citizens.
well,
on
they'd
that.
be in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
but that would be okay.
Well, it doesn't stop the Beatles from putting out a new song.
No, that's true. Beatles have a new song, like,
And that's
wow.
like senior citizens.
and what?
City.
Half of them are dead.
Yeah.
Half the Beatles are gone. So there's just Ringo and Paul left with them. Let's see, who else came in while we were blabbing away? Tamela is here, and Landa. Oh, you're welcome, Kay. Kay said it was a lovely day yesterday. Yes, I had a good time yesterday at the Pop-Up So Day too. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Russ is checking up on Philippa. And Quilting in the Man Cave is here.
Well,
Rob, hi.
She probably sleeps during the day or something like that, just like Steve does.
I don't sleep during the day.
You lay on the couch, turn on the TV, and snore.
I don't snore.
You should do.
No, it's an echo off yourself. I don't snore. I express.
And then I asked him what he watched, and he goes, "Well, I watched The Crown." Of course, he can't remember any of it because he slept through it.
No, you didn't ask me what you never watched The Crown.
I've watched the odd one.
I blitzed The Crown. It came out on what day did it come out? The Wednesday or something this week, the first part and 4 episodes, and I watched them all in one afternoon. I love that show. It was all about Diana and being her death. Guys Craft 2 is here as well from sunny Arizona. Angel doesn't have I don't have off work on Thursday, Thanksgiving. Okay, so in other words, Angel, what you meant is you have to work on Thanksgiving on Thursday. Patsy says Thanksgiving is for eating and storing up food so you have the stamina for Black Friday. Yeah, or going to hibernation for the winter. Why didn't my watch just ding ding?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just from Stephanie. Never mind.
Private messages.
Yeah, it is. She's going to send me a picture of something. Never mind. You don't need to know. Melissa says, I would stand in line for ABBA ticks too. Yep. And Julie's here. Hi, Julie. Elsa said something, but she retracted it. Marilyn's here. She loves The Crown as well. The new episodes were good. Yep. I love the one that plays, the one that plays Diana, and the one that plays the Queen themselves. They look pretty good. The guy who plays Prince Charles, no, ears aren't big enough. And the one that plays Prince Philip, no. But boy, they really make Prince Philip in The Crown seem like a real bastard in it. I don't know if he really was in life or not. Derek says, my mother used to say my father snored. He vehemently disagreed and said he was merely resonating. I like that. Resonating. Yes, that's good. Walter snores. It's not resonation. Believe me, it's...
I heard that from my dad. My dad snores bad. No, used to snore bad.
Yeah, he doesn't anymore.
No, I don't.
Your father dead. In case you didn't know, I'm sorry if I broke that to you. But anyways, yeah. So you guys have your Thanksgiving next week. Of course, we'll be on anyways because it's not our Thanksgiving. It's over with. So what have I been working on? Well, we had the pop-up sew day yesterday. We had a really good turnout yesterday. I was really pleased. We had, at the height of it, about 36 people. That was pretty darn good. And everybody got along. We didn't have any drama or anything like that. She, whose name will not be spoken, did not show up. If she had, I would have booted her right out on her rear end. So, but she was not there, so it was very pleasant. Everybody was very supportive, had lots of wonderful things to show. Didn't buy anything. Nobody enabled me yesterday, which was a good thing, because I can enable myself without any problem. Although Jan, are you on here? There she is. There's Jan. Hi, Jan. Jan was trying to get a Kickstarter or something, or a GoFundMe account up for me so I could buy the Mardi Gras fabric I saw that is expensive and is down the States. Yeah, it's okay. nice effort, but I'm not destitute. Okay. It's just I resent having to pay that kind of money. It's shipping more than anything, than even with the exchange rate. But, and the ironic part is that fabric is made by Northcott, and Northcott is a Canadian company. Now, I did find it on an Etsy store, but it was iffy whether or not they really had it in stock, and it was iffy whether or not I'd still be paying an American. They were telling me how much it was in Canadian, but I think it did a conversion because it knew I was in Canada. I don't think they were in Canada, so I don't know. But anyways, such is the woes of a quilter. So what did I work on yesterday? Well, I worked on those bloody bundles of joy blocks, and I'll just put them up here so you can see. So I finally got all 48 of the blocks done, and I'm glad they're done. Now I have to do the sashing, lay them out, do the sashing, get the rows all put together, quilt it, bind it, all that kind of stuff. But I've also decided I'm going to do something a little different with this, and those of you that were on the pop-up sew day heard me talk about it, and it involves those little kitty blocks that are off to the side, and that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you anymore. I will on Tuesday on Idiot Quilter. So that's all I'll say about that. And Walter was not at our pop-up sew day on Saturday. Yeah, I have to think. What day is this? He was off on his own little in-person sew day with his sewing people. And what did you manage to accomplish?
Well, I started making a bag, but we did a lot of talking, so I didn't get very far. But anyway, I have a couple of embroidery projects that I did. One I think I showed the other week or whatever. So I do have the sides made. I've got Santa that I've done, and I've got this truck done. And I realized just today that I accidentally did the wrong size for Santa, so he's a little smaller than I wanted him to be. But anyway, both of these designs are available on Embroidery Library.
We know you're going to ask.
Yeah, because I'm saying. And this one is called Santa's Starlight Flight. And this one is called Classic Christmas Retro Truck Scene. Classic Christmas Retro Truck Scene.
And what is the website again?
It's Embroidery Library.
Embroidery Library, yeah. So there is not a link in the show notes below, but you can do, if you do a Google search, Embroidery Library, you'll find it'll come right up with it. And you can see all kinds of interesting things there. Of course, these are all for those of you that have embroidery machines, okay? Yeah. Not hand stitching. We don't do that. So you were missed yesterday. Purple Wall says, Kay says, we missed you, Walter. Yeah, your fan club were all upset because you weren't there. If I was in the fan club, and I'm not, I would be pissed off at you because you're slighting them. You went off to go and there was with a drag queen or two.
Yeah, there was 4 people there, including me. Actually, and a 5th one came. A lady came that she's actually kind of a seamstress or does a lot of clothing. And stuff like that. And she came and she's cleaning out her sewing room. So she brought out all kinds of spare fabric and patterns, mostly women's patterns.
But you said the fabric was ugly.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
So
I kept away from there because I thought, I've got enough fabric. I've got enough junky fabric as it is. So I left it to the drag queen, took some, and one of the other ladies took some. And it was more like, the really viscose type fabric that a lot of women wear with their blouses and stuff like that. I wasn't really into making anything out of that stuff. And between the drag queen and the other lady, they shared a lot of the ladies' patterns. I didn't really see anything I wanted. But it was an interesting distraction. Brendan was sewing a drag outfit.
Brendan is the guy who organizes these days, and he's also the teacher of the classes, although you guys don't really have classes anymore.
No.
He taught you everything he knew, so.
Yeah, well, basically, there's only really 2 of us that were, 2 or possibly 3 of us that ended up still continuing on sewing. The rest of them don't really sew anymore. or if they do sew, they don't sew with us. And then there isn't really too many other projects that they really wanted to make. And I think he got a little fed up with teaching it.
Well, you did have a few nut jobs in that class.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
In fact, we discussed one of them yesterday about her issues.
There's always issues with that.
And then there's another guy that was in the class, Mark. He's just learning how to sew. And I'm not exactly sure what he was sewing, but it looked like a night dress out of flannel.
A night dress.
It looked like a nightgown.
Oh, okay.
Out of flannel. I'm not sure. I didn't ask him who it was for.
Yeah, well,
but anyway,
maybe he enjoys wearing those around the house.
Well, no, he did pajama bottoms last time too.
Oh.
So
well, now he's got a top.
Yeah,
everybody's loving your bag or your patterns for that.
Then Gail was sewing a top, and she was doing Hong Kong seams.
Okay, they're going to ask because I did. What's a Hong Kong seam?
Well, it's like a seam in the inside of your clothing that's pressed open. And instead of, like, a lot of times clothing have lining inside, right? Well, if you don't have lining, what they do is they press the seams open and they wrap fabric around the edge, the raw edge of the fabric, in like a stripe on the inside so it looks nice and fancy. And that's to keep the seams from unraveling while you're wearing it or washing it or whatever.
Okay. I still have no idea what that is, but whatever. Maybe some of you do know that. Just catching up here. Yeah, Kay says, we understand. Walter has to live his dream too. Yeah, that's a dream.
Well, it's nice to talk to live people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, then you get bad news about somebody we know who passed away very suddenly, too, but we're not going there. Elsie says, Walter loved those embroidery designs. The bag's going to be stunning. And, Barb says, hello, sorry, I'm late. I've spoken to you about this before, Barb. Detention. Brenda's here. Brenda, hello. I had a hard time getting. I think you mean have. I had a hard time getting on the chat, but was here at the beginning. Yeah, how do we know that? You're lying, Brenda. You just didn't want me to call you out because you're late. Yeah, nah, it's okay. We're glad you're here now. Jan says, sounds like you had a great day too, Walter. Math Geek, so like binding.
Yeah, it's like a type of binding around the edges. Like what you do is you make a really big, wide seam. It's not like a quilt seam. It's a really big, wide seam that you press flat, and then you put like a binding on the edges all the way down on either side of it. It looks pretty on the inside, especially on a coat.
So do you make the binding, or do they use binding tape?
You can use your own. You can use bias tape, or you can make your. In this case, Gail was making her own. So
Math Geek says it's like binding on inside of your clothes.
Yeah.
And Elsie says Basie Alley, Hong Kong. I think basically Hong Kong seam is binding your seams as a finish rather than using a serger or pinking shears. Yeah. Okay. Angel says Hong Kong seam. Easiest way to explain it, imagine binding the inside edges. Okay, so I think now we've got overkill on this one. Yeah. I think I understand it now. Thank you very much. Kelly's here. Hello, everyone. Greetings from BC. Okay, so was there any other like moments of memory, memorable moments yesterday?
No, Gail and I were just having a big chat about families and things. And
we video bombed Russ during his 11sies broadcast. Yeah, that was kind of funny with that. Okay, so moving on then. Just note, as usual, Wednesday. So was Stephanie Stephen. Starts at 9, not at 8. Okay, we had a couple of people, and I could get why you were confused, because I usually do my pop-ups start at 8, but Stephanie and mine so day thing every week starts at 9 Eastern time. So yeah, just so everybody is clear on that. We talked about the pop-up so day. All right, let's talk a little bit about YouTube here. I am just about to turn over 9,500 subscribers, which I am really quite thrilled about. You know, I said that I had set a goal. And you know, when I say set a goal, I have nothing to do with that goal. It has everything to do with other people. Up 10,000 by December 31st. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. It's just that when you hit 10,000, you feel like you've arrived. And it would have only taken me, when I get to 10,000, it's only taking me almost 12 years since I started the channel.
1,000 a year, almost.
Wow.
900 a year.
Kind of like how much mileage I put on my car every year. But if you're on here or you watch me on a regular basis and you're not yet subscribed, please do.
Yeah, but I thought everybody on here had to be subscribed.
Oh, they do. That's what it says. It comes up. They can't be in the chat if they're not subscribed. That's right. Tell your friends. Tell your family.
You say that every time.
I know, but I'm old and I forget things. And thank you. That's why you're here, to remind me of everything that I forget. Yeah. Whatever. Well, thank you, Mary, except I'm not at 9,500. I'm at 94.95 or something like that. I'm about 5 or 6 people away from 9,500. But 10,000, that's the biggie. We'll see. Now, there is somebody else I know. I'm not going to mention who she is, and she's not on here, and you've never seen her on here because she's not even a subscriber to my channel. She has her own channel, and she has a business too. And she was telling us it's a private group thing. It's a membership site that she really wants for her YouTube to be over 100,000 by the end of the year as well. She's at 74,000. I don't think she's going to hit that magic number, but who knows? You know, I mean, there's a difference between wanting another 1,000 people and another 25,000 people. That's hard to get. Yes, Elsie, I did say 9,500. Stephanie says we should have a pop-up sew day party when you get to 10,000. Yeah, I was thinking what I could do, because people on milestone ones tend to do something special. I have to think about that, what I will do. I am sure Jan will come up with about 12 different suggestions, all of which will not be viable. But Pace Anderson is here. Hi, I finally made it. Thanks again for the pop-up so day. Oh, you are welcome, Pace. Pace, isn't it? Yeah, isn't your name Pat? I don't understand Pace. Well, whatever. I had a name change in the last 24 hours, I guess. Whatever. Okay, another thing about YouTube right now, if you may know or may not know, YouTube is not allowing us as creators to decide where ads are going to go. Now, we didn't have much of a say before this, but we did have the ability to turn off non-skippable ads. Well, it looks like right now we don't have that power anymore. It is totally at the whim of whatever YouTube wants to do. And they couch it in the idea that they will place ads where they think they will be most supportive of our channel. What they mean is they're going to place more ads in so they'll get more revenue to their corporation. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect revenue that we make on ads, whether that means that, okay, if they put more ads in our videos, and I'm assuming they're going to put more ads in our videos, that we will make more money. But I'm sure they have something figured out there that's only to their advantage and not to us as creators, too. So, if you suddenly see more ads on any of my videos or any other creators out there and you're finding you can't skip them, that's the reason for it. And we as creators have no control over that whatsoever. Jan goes, pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up, yabba dabba do. Okay, Jan, she's on. She and Russ today both must be taking the same drug. I don't know. They don't share. You need to share.
What are you snorting?
Yeah, what are you snorting? Hey, new segment on Stephen and Walter Live. What are you snorting? So anyways, I thought I'd tell you about that. What else about... Oh, something that's related to YouTube. So I was insulted by another creator. Yeah. Well, no, let me qualify it. I don't think that creator, and I'm not going to mention who it was, did this on purpose. But one creator decided to talk about their 4 favorite male YouTube people in the quilting world. I wasn't one of them. The ironic part of the whole thing was, as an afterthought, she did an update in the show notes and said, oh yes, I should have also mentioned the Quilting Marine, who's really great and wonderful and exciting and everything like that. Oh, and Idiot Quilter. Okay. Here's where it becomes... I mean, I don't really care, but I do care.
Yes, you do care.
Well, I didn't
Otherwise, you wouldn't be mentioning it.
Yes, well, it is hurtful. It does hurt. Okay, it does hurt a little bit. I didn't know anything about it until a couple of people on the Pop-Up Sew Day asked me if I had seen... Oh, no, this was on Wednesday's Sew Day with Stephanie. Mentioned it to me if I had seen this, and I said no. And the reason they were mentioning to me is because I interviewed this person very recently. Now, I did write a comment. I just put, oh, thanks for mentioning me in your show notes. It's hard to sound sarcastic sometimes in writing, but I think she got the point. She did send me a comment and goes, oh, I think I should do a part 2 now. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you'll be on part 2. You're not number 1.
I'm not number 1.
You're number 5 or
I'm
6.
Number 2 or yeah. You know. Okay. I'm kind of making this into a joke. I am sure this was not done on purpose. You know, it was just there, but you know, sometimes you like to milk certain situations. I'm going for the sympathy vote because y'all give it to him. Where's the
Well, I had to put up with him all day. So.
Oh yeah, really. Give me a break. Southern Hater is here. Hello, Southern Hater. I'm just backing up here to see. Elsie wants to party with Jan. That could be disastrous. Stephanie says they got into the Good Bears.
Oh, Good Bears. Yeah.
What are the Good Bears? Oh, gummies. Yeah. It's cat's fur. Oh, okay. That'll do it. Russ is just high on life. Ball roar, you're just on drugs. Okay, we know the story. Oh yeah, Jan. Now the buttering up comes. Hi, Julie. I know who you're talking about. I was very disappointed. I think you all fantastic. I look forward to every one of your videos. That is the right comment to make. I don't mind at all when people kiss my ass. It's not like... No, I know. I'm just being funny and sarcastic, just at her expense. Because it's no fun if I do it at my own. Russ says, I didn't make the top 10. Oh, you will, Russ. Candace says, you're number 1 in our book. Okay, here we go. You're a sorry teacher. Yeah. Actually, I didn't catch it.
I think you can get into trouble by listing your top.
Well, numbers. You know, it's very difficult. And I don't do it. Because there is somebody that's going to, like, seriously will have their nose out of joint because you've missed them. So, you know, you're best not to go down that rabbit hole with it all. Because somebody's going to be pissed off because you didn't mention them or whatever. You know, we are all legends in our own mind. So, you know, I don't do that. Because I'll get into trouble. Elsie says, unfortunately, some people do not know how to be professional. Hang in there, Stephen. I love the egg credit. I'm not worried about it, Elsie. I'm just making some humor out of it. Hello, Leslie. So glad to see you two. Just found you two guys a week ago. Love you guys. I think you're the best. Well, Leslie, you're now our number 1 fan. We love you too. We don't know you, but we'll love you anyways. Yes, true, Stephanie, you are. So, And that was said without any facetiousness or sarcasm in my voice. It's true.
No, I think Russ is my favorite.
Well, why don't you two get a room? Oh, we'll have one. We're going to the retreat. We'll all be, the three of us will all be, four of us will all be down there. Yeah, okay. Oh, Kelly says, I will make a video and you'll be numero uno. Yeah, I don't know. Kay says wasp's nest. Exactly, Kay. Okay, anyways, I just thought I had to bring it up because I thought I had to bring it up. So we have exciting thing happening tomorrow. We're getting our 6th COVID shot. And believe me, it was difficult to get a shot because here in Canada, it's all being done by our pharmacies. Shoppers Drug Mart is the biggest pharmacy in Canada. They're on the opposite corner from a Tim Hortons, and there's a Tim Hortons on every corner in every city in Canada. And now there's a Shoppers Drug Mart right kitty corner from them. And yeah, I went on, did their booking online, and there wasn't anything available until 2024. Yeah, 'tis the season for COVID, right? But yeah, you wait till 2024. The reason being is, supposedly, there's a shortage. But wait, didn't we have this excuse given to us at the height of COVID when we were all trying to get the shots and all that kind of thing? And didn't, at least in Canada, our government said, well, that was never going to happen again because they're well prepared. No, they're not. I did find one slot for $11.50 tomorrow morning at a grocery store that has a pharmacy in it. And actually, it is owned by the same company that owns Shoppers Drug Mart. It's a Canadian superstore owned by the Loblaws Corporation, which is one of the big 3 grocery chains here in Canada that have been gouging us to death as they make record profits every quarter. And they report that, and they smile about it. Yeah, when we're paying $4 for a head of iceberg lettuce. Yeah.
Actually, I don't like Shoppers Drug Mart, Stephanie. I like Canadian Tire.
You can't get a shot at Canadian Tire. So anyways, we do have this booked. One thing that was nice about the booking of it, you could book up to 6 people at a time. So I was able, because Walter was snoring away upstairs. I had to wake him up, though, for his health card on that. But I filled it all out for the 2 of us. So, and I want to get this now and get it over with because... Now, I don't know if it's still true or not, but at one point in time, I remember they said it took about 2 weeks for the vaccine to build up its full immunity potential or something in your system. And I don't want to go down to Georgia. I want to be very well protected before we travel, and I don't want to be sick before we go and everything like that because, you just don't want to be. Nothing kills a good time than spreading COVID to everybody, right? So, anyways, I'm glad that that's settled now.
Actually, Stephanie said I'm not welcome at the retreat, so that means that you can't go either because I'm your driver.
He's driving Miss Daisy. What, Walter? Why wouldn't Walter be? What would she?
Because I say Russ is my favorite.
Oh, you might want to be careful about it. As YouTube creators, we are somewhat sensitive. I don't know why we shouldn't be. We need to have stuff bounce off us like water on a duck's back.
Hey Barb, you probably have other options out west other than Shoppers Drug Mart. We're stuck with Shoppers Drug Mart. You have London Drugs and other things. We don't have those.
yeah, we don't have London Drugs. I mean, we do have other places, but they're smaller.
They're small. Shoppers Drug Mart is the biggest. It's a larger type.
They sell everything.
Sort of like Walgreens or something like that in the States. So.
Stephanie says she was only kidding. I think Walter knew that. Faith is here. Hi, Faith. I have gotten 4 shots in the last month. COVID, RSV, pneumonia, flu. Only thought it was a little tired. Yeah, well, we've had the flu shot. I got a pneumonia shot back in September, and I got the shingles shots as well from, when was that, September? It was in late October or whatever. I could get the second one of that. I asked about RSV. My doctor said really did not recommend that I needed to get it. She said if you want to get it, you can get it, but she says you don't have a compromised immune system, your health is good and everything like that. And she said, and you have to pay for it because our government is not covering that shot. And I said, well, if I don't need it,
However,
our own insurance,
our
our
own
extra
insurance
insurance.
probably covers that. Because she gave me a thing for a pneumonia shot, but
Didn't she give it to you?
no, she didn't give it to me. She didn't have any.
Oh,
So
I got one
she
from
gave
her.
me a thing for, but she suggested I wait a couple of weeks after COVID or something.
Oh, not to get everything at one shot, okay, so to speak. Russ says the whole month of December I'll be threatening folks who get near me with Lysol. I refuse to get sick before the retreat. Yeah, I know. It's a little worrisome when you think about it. Like, you guys are about to go into Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and it's the hubbub of the Christmas season and all the shopping and the crowds and everything like that. I mean, yeah, I'm staying away from that. I'm not doing any Christmas shopping anyways because I'm buying them nothing.
That's good.
What are you buying me?
Nothing.
Oh, same thing. God, I hope I can return it.
Maybe I could save it all up and we'll buy you something when we go down.
Maybe. I was trying to think if there was something we needed for the house or something, that we could just, something. But no, because anything that we need for the house is like tens of thousands of dollars. Like more windows. Well, we have windows now, but we want newer windows. Faith says I'm diabetic, but my insurance did cover it. Yeah. And Pamela is here. Hello, Pamela. Oh, I'm still your favorite. Okay. Well, let's see. I will keep a list of everybody that says I'm their favorite. And on the next pop-up so day, they're the only people I'll let in. No. Let's all 107. Let's all 107 of us watching give our face. How many we've got on here? Oh, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I never look at that number. Favorite, you do too. Stephen, a thumbs up. Well, thank you, Pam. I love it. Kelly will be right back. Or does that mean she burped? BRB. Have to switch laundry. Okay. And Emma's here. Hi, Em. Sorry, hit send too soon. Oh, okay. Got it. So, okay. So that's what we have to look forward to tomorrow. You'll have to be up for that.
Yeah, I know.
Because we have to be there 20 minutes before or 15 minutes
no
before.
problem.
That. Yeah. Okay. Now, want to do a little follow-up. You're probably sick and tired of this. The LDH scissors. But just a short, quick little brief follow-up. Thanks to the courtesy of M. M sent me a message, made a comment. You may have seen it in the comment section. And about the LDH scissors, that we've been talking about. And Walter's done some exploring to them. We found out quite a few things about this company we were not aware of before. And we had said that we have discovered that LDH scissors is basically a huge company in China, in Shenzhen, is that how you say it? Yeah. And M confirmed this. He said, Stephen, you're right. They aren't a small corporation. Roy's parents own LDH. Roy is one of the couple. He's the male part of the couple. Well, with a name like Roy, I guess he would be. Well, you never know these days. But he's the figurehead here in Toronto for LDH Scissors. And so apparently his parents own the company, which we kind of found out. A big manufacturer of all kinds of scissors. It seems to me that LDH Scissors are the brand created for the North American and European markets. I cannot get onto the LDH website because of my location. The company's products selling in Southeast Asia are mostly industrial used. And a few other people told me, like I think someone mentioned scissors called Guggenheim.
Yeah.
Are actually made by this company, LDH. And that brings up the whole fact that those scissors that we showed on So Chatty on Friday that Walter got from Amazon, and we were showing them there was not much difference between those, they are probably LDH scissors as well. Now, what pisses me off about this company? I'm going to tell you up front right now. I told you I like the scissors that I had. The only pair that we had a problem with were those ones in the gift pack,
Yeah.
right? And that in the future I'd buy from them again.
I mean, there isn't really anything wrong with those scissors in the gift pack, other than they're a different grade of scissors
Yeah.
than what I thought.
But
they
we
would
already
be.
went
Yeah.
over that 1,000
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
But I will not buy another one of their products knowingly. And what I mean by that is because of the way they do business. Basically, they don't give a shit, pardon my language, about their customers. I already went over the 2 emails and things that I'd gotten from them. They don't care. They're doing what Chinese industry, Chinese corporations are always criticized for. Out to get the big buck, the hell with anybody else. Once they have your money, that's it. They have got a foothold in North America. They have a foothold here now in Canada through the Sun here. They say that their scissors are designed in Toronto, but they're supplied from their supplier, which is their family business in China. Fine, they're not designed here. That's bull roar. Because I sent them an email about those batting scissors and about blunt ends and stuff on that. They don't care. They're mass producing over in China with all of that. I mean, most of our stuff that comes to North America anyways is mass produced over there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was attitude. It's attitude, and you know me about customer service and everything. And so, no, there are other brands of scissors out there that I can buy. Like, a lot of people seem to like Koi.
They're resold on all over the place because I did a general search for LDH, and they're resold all over the place, everywhere.
Yeah.
And actually, I even got a listing for Amazon that gave me, I don't know, because I may have done a search for LDH, it came up on Amazon and they sent me a message, and it was sort of, the supplier was LDH, and it said it was 38 for a size 9 scissors, I think.
Yep. So anyways, now this isn't anything new about how corporations, pretty much any corporation around the world, it doesn't have to necessarily be in China, how we as a consumer are being manipulated. It's all about profit. But they have rubbed me the wrong way in their customer service. I see Barb says LDH should have paid the postage for your return, for you to return the scissors. Yes, they should have. But they didn't. They didn't offer to. No, they say that you'll have to pay to return them. So yeah, all of that is part and parcel of the overall feeling I have of them.
So it's kind of a deterrent to return them, because I didn't pay for postage for them to send them to me. So and if I wanted to return them, they said, yeah, you can send them back to us, but I would have to pay the postage. I sort of looked at the postage, and it's around $30 for me to send them back. So on a $70 set of scissors, is it worth it for me to send them back?
Because they still work. They just don't work at the best like some of their other ones. But you also figured out, and it's all on So Chatty on Friday, so I don't want to reiterate what we've already talked there, because we've spent way too much time on this issue.
Yeah.
Bottom line is this. For me, for us, we will not be supporting their corporation. We will not be buying LDH scissors again. So,
well, I've got too many scissors now.
well, yeah, I know. Anyways, I'm just looking here. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. Southern Hater says there's a dog flu going around. Rapid onset can cause death. No yet known cause, but many Goldens got it at their specialty.
Golden retrievers, I assume.
Got it at their specialty. Dogs should get Bordetella, may or may not help. Well, I'm not a dog, but I'm assuming you're bringing it up because it's transmittable to humans. I think I did read something or heard something about that. We don't have a dog. Again, another reason why cats are better than dogs. Yeah. I don't have one of those either. Diane says, missed the first bit, but here now. Well, you can watch the replay, Diane, if you're interested. Moldy Lasagna says, hi. Hi, Moldy Lasagna. That sounds appetizing. J. Klein Atlin. Okay. Joyce. Oh, it's Joyce. Here, this is my first live with you. Yay, Joyce, you're welcome. Barb says, this is interesting. LDH should have paid. No. You said, I noticed the batting scissors on Amazon has rounded ends. I'm assuming you mean LDH ones.
If you look at
batting
scissors from Handy Quilter, they are rounded. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know who makes Handy Quilter things. The scissors you have, the batting scissors, are a little strange in that you have it has a big spring in it, right?
Yeah, the ones that from LDH you're talking about with the points, and it has it's ones that are meant for either left or right-handed people, because there's no loops to put your fingers in. You just you squeeze them with it. They're very, very sharp. They are one hell of a weapon. If someone came in the house and attacked you, grab them.
They would be like Friday the 13th kind of.
Oh yeah, yeah. But they get caught in the batting loft because the ends are really, really to a fine point, and they need to be blunted.
Yeah, but I did see that Handy Quilter had a set of batting shears, and they were rounded on the edges.
Yeah. And the original ones that I have, and they may have been Handy Quilter. Well, no, they may not have been. I don't know who made those, but I bought them at the Long Arm place, and they had blunted things. So that's what I mean. That's why I knew that maybe they should have.
And Roger says her Handy Quilting batting scissors are awesome.
Yeah. Maybe I should look into them with it. It's a shame because I spent a lot of money on those scissors, like $80, and they are sharp. They do cut. They're great if you're cutting your wide backing and that kind of thing, but they get caught in the loft of the 80-20 batting that I use all the time, and which is a pain in the butt. But anyways, let's get off the scissors. Yeah. Okay, we are done with the scissors. Okay, no more scissors. So today's topic, though, and why this came up, I called it, why is the younger generation just stupid? The reason I brought this up is because I was watching J.J. McCullough. I've talked about his website and his videos before. He's a Canadian guy. He's a journalist. And he has a lot of really interesting videos where he talks about current affairs and he puts his spin on it and everything. He's very, very intelligent, very well read, you can tell, in his opinions. And he did recently a video about the whole conflict in the Middle East that's going on right now. But then he did another video because there's been an outbreak, at least in Canada, of a lot of hate crime. We call it hate crime here, defacing mosques, defacing synagogues, temples, things like that, because out of all this whole struggle and things like that. And then a lot of young people are spouting forth their ideas about what's going on, and they are, to say the least, extremely naive. You can tell they haven't got a clue, and they're just spewing forth, and they're out on the streets protesting, and they don't really understand what they are protesting. And I just think, young people today, when I started, and I worked with young people, and this is not to be down on young people, all right? I taught them for 31 years, okay? I'm very much aware what young people are all about. And I will say that they did become a little bit more dumb as the years went on compared to when I first started teaching them. And I wondered, well, why is this? Why are young people so out of it when it comes to true knowledge about things that are happening out there? And so I came up with some theories that I'll share with you. One thing is just because we're old, like Walter and I, and we've forgotten what it was like to be a young person, and maybe we were just as stupid when we were their age. Well, I think we were stupid. I mean, and when I say stupid, I mean, maybe the better word for that is ignorant. And ignorant meaning lack of knowledge. But you know how young people are, right? Full of, we know what's right.
I'm 18. I'm an adult.
Yeah. So. We know everything in the world. You old farts haven't got a clue. And then what do the old farts do? The old farts go, in my day, Sonny, I used to go to school 50 miles both ways, uphill, in
Well,
the
it's
snow, bare
sort of
feet.
like way back when my nephew went to university. Steve told him what university was all about, and he said to my sister, "Oh, what's he know? He's an old fart."
Yeah, he did find
And
out
he
I knew
did find
something.
out that he knew a lot more about university than.
Yeah, he didn't realize that university was not going to be a complete party, although I think it is now, because that's quite a few years ago now when he went. But yeah, so I mean, you can put it down to the fact that we're just not with it anymore because of our age. You know, we don't hang out with young people anymore. And, you know, I think as you get older, when it comes to the antics of the young, you get a little bit impatient with them. And I think also, I think when you get older, you start to feel that you should have the younger people should be looking towards you for wisdom and give you respect, and they don't, and we don't like that, kind of a thing. So I think that might be one reason, perception, but I think there's others.
Actually, yeah, like the way I sort of look at it is, but you go older, you've experienced a lot of things throughout your life, and you don't necessarily believe everything you're told.
Yeah, we come.
Right.
I think you become more skeptical
Yeah.
about things, more critical about it. But then again, we get even older, then we just forget everything. So then it doesn't matter anymore. I think one of the biggest things that keep our young people in the dark is the media. Because they're a generation that have never known a world that didn't have the internet, didn't have streaming television, didn't have everybody with the ability to broadcast their views like we're doing right now.
Yeah, there was a world when we grew up. There was no Twitter, there was no Facebook, there was no other media things. There was no.
We basically
YouTube.
had the news on TV and the news in a newspaper.
Yeah,
That's where we got our information. And back in that time, too, although reporters would spin, you know, the news to attract an audience, they didn't have as much competition as there is today, because now the news on TV has to compete with everything that's online, with YouTube, with all the other internet websites and stuff like that. And so if they want to have their, because after all, they're there to make money. Okay, let's not forget that. The news is not a free service that's given to us. They depend upon advertising for their revenue. And they can only attract big advertisers if they have a big audience. So that's why they spin the news. And it's very difficult for any of us, whether we're 20 years old or 80 years old, to really know what is the truth. What is being spun? What is the truth? Now, as old people with a lot of time on our hands, if you're retired, we have the luxury of being able to compare stories. And that's how you figure out what might be true and what isn't true. You don't take it from one source. You gather many sources from the internet.
Now, mind you, having said that, there are some people that are our age that don't know any better either.
Yes, there are. Well, there's stupid people at any age. You know, like stupid is as stupid does. But, to quote Forrest, but, you know, we don't take things as, for the most part, we don't necessarily take things at face value. Some people do, but the majority of people in our age bracket in that have a certain amount of skepticism, right? And we go, well, you know, whatever, or should have that. But young people don't. They see it on something that's a video. They see it on the internet, and that's God's awful truth as far as they're concerned, because it wouldn't be on the internet if it wasn't. So people are playing on them. The media plays on that to attract an audience and to maintain an audience, because an audience means money. So they need to be educated, young people. Well, in schools, I used to teach media as well. That was one of the courses I taught. And one of the things that we were very concerned about in teaching media in the curriculum was to teach young people how to discriminate between different sources of information, how to compare, how to see through the tricks. Like, here's a trick for one example, because we see it every night in the news. If you watch the news on at night or you watch it on your computer device. Right now, the conflict in the Middle East. If you watch the video, you hear the person speaking about it, the news reporter, and then you see images. You see video. Have you ever wondered where that video came from? They make it look like they're right there now. They're showing you exactly as it happened. Think about it. Okay, they talk about a car bombing. They show you a video of something exploding. Bang. And then they show you the aftermath, twisted metal buildings and things like that. Now, I'm not saying those things did not happen, but they didn't happen at the moment that reporter is reporting it. That is called stock footage. And it may not actually be part of the event that's being reported on. It could be older video from a related event.
Like a lot of times they talk about people in the classroom and people in school system and they keep showing you the same footage over and over again from classrooms that are 10 years old.
Those teachers are dead. For God's sakes, they might at least retired. So yeah, but this is the thing. But our mind, they're not telling you. They don't say, this is actually what happened right here. Here it is. We were standing there when it happened. We got it on video at the time. No, they don't say that. They let your mind make that connection. That's part of how they work it. Now, they also get their video from people's personal cell phones. Everybody posts everything online. The news services scan the online services and they pick out the footage that's there. And there's tons of footage. And they pick the footage that best gets across whatever their spin is. But again, they don't tell you that, but our minds do it. Now, again, I'm not saying that these events have not happened and this is fake news. No, I'm saying it's manipulated news. It's manipulated to get you to think in a certain way. Now, young kids, young people, and I mean young people like in high school, university, in their early 20s and that, they do not necessarily understand that. They say, woo, look what happened. There it is. Must be right. And so they go off on their little campaigns, their protests or whatever, half-cocked. They don't have all the information. They're relying on a limited source of information for it. So, has the education system then failed them? Yes and no. The education system, at least in the system I was in, and we had media studies in the whole bit, we spent a great deal of time trying to create students that were media savvy, to let them understand that just because it's on a website or it's on a YouTube video does not necessarily mean it is the whole story or even the correct story. But did they pay attention to that? Well, no, really. That's why some of them still think that the word you is spelt with just the letter. So
also, like, there's TV movies out and video games.
Video games. Yep. There are people, for example, young people, they think that if they enter the services, the military services, it's going to be like the video game they've been playing since they were 5 years old. You can't regenerate your life. Okay? And there are many stories out there about people, young people who have, had traumatic, what do they call it, PSTD and things, coming back from battle because they weren't prepared for the reality of something like that. And they're the same ones who did all the shoot 'em up video games and stuff like that. And they thought that was real. We have a friend who is a security guard. He's over 40. He's been playing video games forever, and he loves the violent ones. And he talks A really tough line. Like, he's a big boy, big man. But it's, physically, in stature and the whole bit. But he wants to be a security guard. He just lives for confrontation. Luckily, he has not gotten into a situation where his life could be on the line because of somebody pulling a gun on him or a knife. And that has happened to somebody he knows because one of his fellow security guards, actually another one that worked in a casino, he works in a casino, works in another casino in the area, was actually shot by a 17-year-old. And what the security guard was doing was he knew this guy was underage, and he was outside in the parking lot, and he went up to him to find out what he was doing there because...
Apparently the story was, from what I heard now, is yesterday actually, that he was just checking his ID.
Yeah, because that's his job.
Yeah.
And the kid turned around and shot him. Dead. Killed him. So, that's the thing. That's the scary part about these young people.
And then there was recently some kid that tried to ride the top of the subway train in Toronto.
Because he saw it on YouTube.
And because he saw it on YouTube, and
he is no more.
Or not on YouTube. He saw maybe on a video game or someplace like that. And
well, they had them on YouTube too.
Yeah, and he died doing that.
Yeah,
couldn't regenerate his life
because kids, young people think they're invulnerable, right? We all thought that at one time. That well, we're going to live forever, kind of a deal. It won't happen to me. It'll happen to somebody else.
There was a trial here in Canada where a young, what was it, 22-year-old, ran down a family of Muslim people.
Oh, yeah.
For a family of Muslim people, a mother, father, daughter,
a grandmother,
and
a
small boy.
He killed them all except for the small boy.
Right. Ran them down.
Yeah, he just ran them down. And when they questioned him about it, it basically says, I just felt like it.
Yeah, and so...
And those people are doing, like, they deserve to die.
They recently had the trial, and he pleaded not guilty. Because in his mind, he was right to do this, right? And they have come down just this last week, and it was a jury, and the jury found him guilty of all four deaths, right? And I guess what do you call it? All four deaths plus anyway. An
attempted murder.
An attempted murder for the
little kid,
that
right?
Survived. And apparently he was in shock that he got this sentence.
Yeah.
Because he thought he would get off.
He thought he was in the right. Because they also found, they checked his computer and everything, and he was on sites that basically were saying, kill all these people because they're terrorists and it's your right to do so and you got to protect your country and all this kind of stuff. Woo! But he's not an isolated case. That's the thing. There's lots of them, think of the groups like the Proud Boys and things like that. It's just stupid. Let's just see what people are saying here before we go on. Southern Hater says homeschooling, public schooling, private schooling, poor parenting, and the list goes on. Yep. All of those things contribute to this. Derek says, my impression these days is that a lot of young people are very good at doing complicated things, but have a complete brain fart when it comes to simple things or using common sense. I think the last part of what you said there is important for sure, Derek. Using common sense. They don't have that. And common sense is something that is instilled in you the day you're born by your parents, basically, or it should be, as long as they have common sense. That's the scary part. Us old farts, Kelly said, have been around the block a few times. Yes, we have. And I'm way more cynical than I used to be. Yep, me too. When we were young, Kathy says, news was the news no matter what channel we watched. Yep, that is very true. Now it's not. Now you can, and that's one of the things I used to teach in media, one of the units in there. We would compare the same event and how it was reported on 3 separate news stations. And all 3 were different, and each one had a bias or were doing a spin in a certain direction. How do you know what the truth is from that? Pamela says, news back then was fairly accurate. Now there's so much opinion news. Yep, basically. Because news is meant to entertain. Under the guise that they're giving you factual information. They are not. They are not. Southern Haze says, I do not have any children, but I love teenagers, partly because I do not have to live with them. They think they're pulling it over on you, but are totally unaware that it's all has been done before. That's very true.
Yeah,
Jeannie's
you
here.
always
Hi,
have
Jeannie.
to have that in the school system. They think that you've never experienced any of those things.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that expression exactly means, but sounds good. Plant corn, get corn. So basically, I guess it is, you get what you sow, like, out of it. If you instill children with the idea that, you know, a certain group of people in our society are evil, then they believe it. Guys chat, they're off running. Okay. I need to go wrestle with the Sudoku quilt some more. Thanks for that. Okay, Kelly. Gail says, have either of you read The Chaos Machine? It's about how social media rewired our mind and world. Is pretty good. No, I have not read that. I have heard of it, and I definitely would agree with the premise that social media is rewired. Yes, I would definitely say that there's grounds for that. Hi, Benita. Stephanie says, so if I watch Stephen Bland on YouTube and he says the sky's purple, it's not? Seriously, yes, kids think social media videos are all real. Yeah, but seriously, Stephanie, as we've talked before, YouTube content creators do have an effect. The bigger the YouTube channel, the more subscribers, the more manipulation they can have, the power that they can have. And that power comes because it's in the form of a video, in the form of media. That, like Marshall McLuhan, a famous Canadian professor at the U of T, Toronto University, back in the 60s, he coined the phrase, the message is in the medium. And what he meant by that was, it's not the message that is important. What's important is how the message is communicated. What piece of technology is giving it. For example, if you have the same story, but the story is written up in print form, and then you have the same story and it's written up in a video format, which one has more effect? The video. Because for the most part, most of humanity is more attracted and pays more attention to video because we have been raised. Most of us have never known a world without television. So that's what that means. And it's very true. And he coined that back in the early 60s, before there was anything like the internet or anything like that. So he definitely prophesized what was coming. Yep, it's a very scary world, Leslie. Mary says, I think you were born with common sense or you're not. No, I don't agree with you, Mary, on that. I think common sense is something that is learned, because what is common sense? What is common sense? That's a term we use all the time, right? But what does it really mean? What is common sense? What's common to a group of people, meaning that everybody has an understanding that, for example, it is just common sense to know that you don't ride on the top of a fast-moving train, okay? But in India, they do. Because there isn't enough room on the train. And you've seen the movies, you've seen the pictures and everything in the media, where those train cars are just overflowing with people, and there's all these people on top. And usually there are people that don't have the money for the fare and that's what they're doing. But to them, that's common sense. We need to get from point A to point B. We can't afford or get on the train with seats, but we need to get to that spot. So common sense says to us, just get on top of the train. It'll get you to your destination. But in Canada and the United States, that's called not common sense. It's the opposite.
Or like there's also people that you would think it was common sense, but they go off and do radical things like take selfies off of tall buildings
Yeah.
and or
Hanging out in
people
space.
or people that are going to a thing like the Grand Canyon or something, and it says don't cross this line or something, but they want to take a selfie at the edge of the Grand Canyon and end up falling over, type of thing.
Yeah.
You would think it would be common sense for them not to do that, but they do it anyways.
But where do you learn common sense? From your parents to start with, and then from the education system, because that's the next area that in your life that you enter into next. So, and then goes from there.
It might be common sense not to say something nasty to somebody on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they do it anyway.
But they do it anyways, don't they? So, yeah, I don't think you're born with it. I think it is a learned behavior. Candace says they don't have common sense. Social media has destroyed their ability to socially interact in person. Have a daughter at college and she complains about many of these things. Yeah. Laura says opinion news is just like reality TV. Yeah. And that's a misnomer. Reality TV is not reality.
Yeah, it isn't.
It's and this is another thing that we taught in the media class. We would watch a reality television show and then talk about, why is this real? Is this real? Do you know people like this? Are you know people in this situation? What if you were in that situation? And we made the kids question what was there. Reality TV is scripted. It's
scripted and highly edited.
And highly edited. Yeah, from it all.
Like, I mean, when they say, when they're talking or something to each other or whatever, they may have like tons and tons of footage, and they've edited it in such a way to make people think of it as a certain way.
Yeah. Sherlock says, if I'm not mistaken, news channels are listed as entertainment only in their byline. I looked this up several years ago. I'm not absolutely sure what you mean.
You can view you can view lots of YouTube videos where people have taken like an interview, for instance, and manipulated it in such a way that it has a different meaning.
But I'm not sure what Sherlock means by listed as entertainment only in their byline. Their byline, my understanding of a byline is the byline means exactly that. Who's it by? Who wrote the article? But I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm not sure on news channels. I've never really paid attention to if they say this is entertainment only. That one's news to me. News to me, Sherlock. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. I just didn't know about that. Barb says, common sense is sound practical judgment concerning everyday matters or a basic ability to perceive, understand, and judge in a manner that is shared by, i.e. common to nearly all people. Just copied that out of Wikipedia, didn't you? Or on the internet. Yep, that's exactly what common sense is. But it is something that has to be learned. At least I feel it does. Okay, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Common sense tells me that it has to be that way. Leslie says, some people are just dumbasses. Yep, they are. I always think of tourists in Yellowstone with buffalo. Common sense?
Well, it's like tourists in Jasper in northern Canada. They see a bear walking out, a wild bear walking out in the woods, and they walk 30 feet up to it and take a picture of it.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I think that one of the problems is the education system or lack thereof. Another problem, though, I think is about parents. Parents are not allowing their children to grow up anymore, in my opinion. I am not a parent, so I have to go by the observation of people in my family. When you've got a 30-year-old kid still living at home who doesn't seem to be doing anything with their life, when they have a parent or parents who feed them, clothe them, give them a place to live, yeah, great life. Wouldn't we all like to have that? Well, how much real world experience are they getting from that? They're not. They're being protected with that. And I really do, and I'm sorry to those of you that are parents and grandparents out there, I really do believe strongly that you show me a screwed up kid, I'll show you a screwed up family. Because kids are not born screwed up. They are a blank slate. It's a learned behavior. And who is your first teacher? When you come out of that womb, your first teacher is your parents. Yeah, it's a hard job. But if the parents are screwed up too, how do they unscrew themselves? I don't know. And I'm saying this from a teacher's point of view. I saw a lot of screwed up kids, and then I met their parents and realized, oh, that explains you. Okay. So, yep. Sorry, and I make no apologies for having that opinion. But if you allow a kid at 29, 30 years old to not, like, we were kicked out at a certain age pretty much, but we wanted to go out.
I was never kicked out, but I was very highly encouraged to leave.
Yeah. Well, but the reason our parents encouraged us to leave is they knew that we needed to go out and start to understand adult life.
Yeah, actually, that's sort
take
of how my
responsibility
parents
for ourselves.
explained it to me. They said, you need to go out and experience life. You need not to be with us anymore. We're old, right?
And then the 40-year-old and the 45-year-olds that have been out there are coming back home to the bank of mommy and daddy. And the parents are allowing this. Yes, parents love their children and will do anything for them. But, you know, are you doing the best thing for them? I mean, helping them out temporarily or something is good, but I have heard tales where the son with his wife and his newborn have moved back into mom and dad's house while they save up money to buy another house for themselves. Because, you know, houses are expensive. Yes, they are.
They always were.
But, you know, they've got a free babysitter, grandpa and grandma, there when they have to go off the two of them have to go out and work for a living, and so grandma and grandpa, who are probably retired and should be enjoying their retirement years, are saddled with looking after a kid, basically raising a child again. Did that once. And grandparents always said, but I love my grandchildren. I am sure you do. But what's the message here to these adult children? You know, and let's remember, are these adult children going to be there when you need them, when you get to the point in your life? I hear too many tales where these people are not being supported by their children who they have spent years supporting. So
yeah, and then I've heard of people like deciding, okay, I'm going to sell our house and move to where my daughter or my son are living.
Where the grandchildren.
So where the grandkids are there. And then all of a sudden the son or daughter gets a job somewhere else and they move somewhere completely different.
Now, I'm sure it's very easy for most of you that are grandparents out there or whatever to point your finger at us and say, what do you know? You don't have any children.
No, I don't.
You're damn right. We don't have any children, but that doesn't mean that our opinion isn't valid. And also, I worked with children too. So, you know, I do not make this up. Okay. So save those comments because I will not acknowledge them. Just let you know. Okay. So here's another way to look at it. Everybody's talking about what's high prices on everything. Young people can't afford a first home or all that kind of stuff. The future is bleak. So why should they give a shit? Why shouldn't they just do whatever they want to do and the hell with it? That's a hard argument to refute in some ways. However, that goes hand in hand with letting them handle the world as adults. Because an adult, what does an adult do? When there's a problem that affects your life, what does the adult do? Some adults do put it on the back burner, but they're not adults. A real adult, a mature adult, handles the situation the best way they know how. They deal with it. They don't depend on somebody else to solve the problem for them. You know, I think about the people who are badly in debt, but they have, you know, they're missing a car payment on the Mercedes, and they have a house that is, you know, 6,000 square feet, you know, 5 bedrooms and a bathroom in each one in the whole bit for 2 people or 3 people and the whole bit. And they turn around, they tell, but I have to have that. But my job doesn't pay enough for this. So I have to go to a food bank. the poor middle class, basically. Well, make a decision. Maybe you need to downsize. Maybe a little lesser model of a car than a Mercedes or whatever is more affordable right now. But no, what do? Is they blame the government. They go into debt with the credit cards and end up at the food bank and other places, or to those debt consolidators. Which those debt consolidators, people, yeah, only one easy payment a month for the rest of your life. And don't you dare put anything on a credit card again. They don't necessarily tell you, they advise you of that for the whole bit. But no, because they're a business. They want money too. So, yeah. So what does all of this mean for the future of the world? Who knows? It's scary when you think about it. Because you have to remember, these are the people that eventually are going to be taking over. They'll be picking our homes for us. And I don't think that's a good thing at all. So, yeah. So, what are people saying here? There seems to be lots of discussion. Sherlock says, at bottom of their segment, it said entertainment purposes in the credits instead of byline. Sorry for the here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have seen that. Now that you describe it that way. So be it. Quilts is here. Fallon is here. Hi, Fallon. And just backing up, Kathy says, I've seen channels advertise shows that say this show is educational, informational. Not so sure about all this. Yeah, they have a little disclaimer on there that says this might be fake, is what they're really saying. Like, take it with a grain of salt. Oops. Come back. Get out. Go away. Okay, let's go down. Barb says common sense is, we did that one. Laura says common sense is taught, in my opinion. I believe it is important for parents to teach common sense, kindness, compassion, understanding, love, and so forth. I believe it's on the parents. It's learned. Yeah, I'd agree with you 100%, Laura. Kathy says, I have seen channels advertise shows that say this show is educated. Okay, I read that already. Southern Hater says, I worked in patient psychiatry for 40 plus years with many teens and children. The wrong one was in the hospital. Are you referring to their parent? They're the ones that really needed the psychiatric help. It's not the kids so much. Well, it is the kids, but the kids got it from the parents. I'm not really sure if I'm interpreting what you've said correctly. Stephanie says, parents are too busy trying to be their kid's friend instead of parenting them. My kids dislike me more than they like me, and I'm okay with that if it makes them productive members of society. I agree with that. The example I'm thinking of is closely related to me, and the parents always are trying to be friends with their children. And I remember years ago, my parents were very, very young when I was born. They were teenagers, basically. My mother was a month off her 17th birthday when I was born. My dad was a month off of his 19th birthday. So 16, 18-year-olds having children, right? And they didn't know what the heck they were doing about all of this. And as I got older, when people found out how old my parents were and compared it to my age, they'd say, it must be great having parents that are so close in age. It must be like, they must be more like friends than parents. And I went, oh God, no. The one thing my parents did not want to be was my friend. They were my parents. Even if they were younger, they were my parents. There was no way we were friends. Now, that's not to suggest that I was raised in an environment where my parents were cruel and heartless or anything like that. No, but there was a line.
Yeah.
They were the parent. I was the child. There was no fuzzy area in that. But that doesn't seem to be the case these days.
Yeah, there's lots of people that try to be the kids' friends. And that seems like the kids have a harder time moving out. I don't know.
Yeah, well, when you have everything, like...
I mean, I didn't really want to stay with my parents when I was younger after I started working full time. I wanted my own place.
Yeah.
And my own
I want my own life.
And there's a lot of kids that seem to still want to live at home.
I mean, I ran into some financial difficulties when I first moved out of the house and things like that. I was a stupid kid. I had a credit card and it was burning a hole in my pocket. I mean, I didn't get myself so far in debt that I couldn't get out, but I had nobody to bail me out. Nobody. I had to bail myself out. I had to get a grip and had to figure this out for myself. And I did. But now they don't. They know that mommy and daddy are there. If they run into a big problem or whatever, mommy and daddy will bail them out with it. You know, yes, you want to protect your children, but to what degree and at what age, you know, do you start, give them a little shove out of the nest? You know, go out there and make your own way in life. Philippa says, totally agree. My daughter is growing up huge. Wait, where'd it go? Huge amounts living in Toronto going to uni. Yeah, and your daughter was coming to another country to go to university, and far away where her parents aren't going to be able just to jump on a flight and come all the way from Australia to Toronto with it. So, yeah. Kathy says, many of the 40 to 50-year-olds today do not have the same work ethic that we were raised with. Oh, don't get me started on that one. And that goes into what I always say about customer service. Same thing. They just don't give a shit. You know, look at this Roy guy from LDH Scissors and the attitude that they gave us about it. Yeah, well, his daddy owns a huge corporation. He doesn't have to struggle for anything. So what does he care about a customer? And there's plenty of customers out there, especially with a company that big. So there you go. There's an example of that. Judy says, well, I like my grandkids more than my kids, but I'm not raising them. I like visiting with them, but that's it. They know they can't come back home. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing about having grandchildren. You know they're going home. So you can spoil them, you can enjoy them, you can have fun with them. Because when you were a parent, you probably couldn't do that in our generation. The same, because you had to work, you had a house to maintain, you had to make sure the bills were paid, the kids were fed, the kids were clothed, the kids were educated, all that kind of stuff. Now, all of that has been dismissed in the situation you're talking about. And you can enjoy your time with your kids and then send them back to mommy and daddy because they're really mommy and daddy's responsibility. They are really not the grandparents' responsibility. Yes, as Southern Hater says, yes, the parents were the ones that needed treatment. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Sherlock says, my daughter's friend called me yesterday asking advice on their kids. I told her I believe in discipline. I couldn't help her. She has a zero discipline routine with those kids. Oh, yeah. That's a topic for another day. Spare the rod, spoil the child kind of thing. I don't believe in hitting children, but there are other methods of discipline besides, let's sit down and reason with a 5-year-old, shall we? Yes, a 5-year-old is really good at reasoning. Yeah, not. You know, let's explain to a child at the age of 4 why they shouldn't be screaming and having a temper tantrum in the middle of a restaurant. Let's see how well that goes over. It doesn't. So, but anyways, what got me on this whole topic was what that J.J. McCullough was talking about with the Middle East. And, you know, that's kind of dangerous because these young people are going out in the streets, protesting, causing a lot of crap out there based on a minimal amount of knowledge, and whether that knowledge is even accurate. Well, that's what we were talking about. So just to end up today, a couple of comments about the employers restricting employees' freedoms that we talked about last week and that kind of thing. One person wrote, I believe freedom of speech is the people's protection from the government. Like the government can't arrest you based on your opinion. Yes, they can. That is naive to think that they can't. That may be in your Constitution, both Canada and the American Constitution and other constitutions around the world. But if the government wants to get you, they have other ways they can get you around that. So the way this person wrote that statement, that's just naive to think that. Another person wrote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Okay, this is obviously being quoted from a political document, maybe the Constitution of the United States, something like that, I'm not sure. But then this person has said, a private company, they were talking about the government, a private company has its own set of rules. You accept employment, you accept the rules. Many companies have rules about other employment. So basically, and we talked about this last week, basically, maybe you can't, there are certain things in the Constitution that govern you if you work for the government, but if you work for a private employer, those things don't necessarily apply, at least in the United States and to a certain extent here in Canada as well. So thank you for people who wrote those comments as well. I always look forward to reading your comments, so keep them coming as long as they're nice and constructive. If you tell me that I'm a bloody asshole and I should die, I will delete it. That's just common sense. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming out today, and I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving and the Americans and everything, and get out there and get those Black Friday deals. We can talk about that next week. You can tell us what you bought if you got anything good. Okay, have a great week. We'll see you all later. Bye for now.
Bye.